It is one of my very favorite passages in all of Scripture. Just how beautiful and how hope-filled it is gets lost when people spend their time trying to interpret Revelation as a book of predictions about our time. It is one of the two places in Revelation where we read that God wipes every tear from the eyes of the faithful. Anyone who has ever cried and received comfort can instantly connect with this passage. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Monday, November 1st, 2021. Revelation chapter 7 is part of an interlude between the opening of the first 6 seals that keep the scroll in God's hands closed and the 7th and final seal. It's too long to read in the confines of this devotional, but I urge you to read it for yourself. Here, John sees a group of 144,000 people, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, all marked with the seal of God on their foreheads. Some interpreters have quite mistakenly read this to mean that there will only be 144,000 people who make it to heaven, when actually it means exactly the opposite. The number 12, like the number 7, was a well-known number that indicated fullness or completeness to people in the ancient world. To say that there are 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, marked with the seal of God, is to say that no one who is part of God's household, no one, will be passed up, but heaven will include every single one of the faithful. This is confirmed in the middle of the chapter when John says he saw a multitude that no one could count from every race and nation standing before the throne and singing God's praises. To me, this is enormously comforting. But it is the exchange that comes next between John and one of the elders that makes it even more comforting. The elder asks John who these people are. John infers that he doesn't know. And so the elder then says these words to John. These are they who have come out from the great ordeal. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. For this reason, they are before the throne of God and worship him day and night within his temple. And the one who is seated on the throne will shelter them. They will hunger no more and thirst no more. The sun will not strike them, nor any scorching heat. For the Lamb at the center of the throne will be their shepherd, and he will guide them to springs of water of life. And God will wipe every tear from their eyes. So these are the martyrs, the ones who have died for the faith. At one level, this is terrible to think of martyrs in terms of a number that no one can count. On the other hand, it gives one a great sense of strength and comfort to know that if we suffer for the faith, we are not alone. Now, most of us know nothing of this kind of suffering. Well, there are those who talk about Christians being persecuted in America today, but I find this rather offensive. For there are people in other parts of the world, Christians, who actually do suffer persecution and even die simply because of their Christian faith. But if we cannot fully understand what it is to suffer persecution, we can understand what it means to be comforted, to have someone dry our tears. When I was a small child, my mother dried my tears. Whether I had fallen down and scraped my knee or stubbed my toe or whatever else I did to my little body to hurt myself, I could go to my mother always, who was ready to dry my tears, bandage up my wounds, and comfort me. The promise in this passage is not that God will keep us from harm, any more than my mother could always keep me from harm. The promise is that will God keep us through whatever suffering we face and bring us safe to the other side, even if the other side involves our death. God will comfort us, and God will keep us forever. And not one of us will be lost. Now that's comfort indeed. When we return tomorrow, the Lamb opens the 7th seal and then begins a series of 7 trumpets. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.